Hey everybody, it's Brooke. How are ya? Hope you're having a great and crafty day. I am back to work on our ledger journal, our roll book journal. Hold it up so you can see where it says roll book. Look how, it's all aged, and I just love this book so much. This is where we made our spine. This is the back. It's all been sealed so that I really didn't want to cover up the edges or anything with book corners, because I love how worn it is. So this is our journal, and we've made the signatures. We put the signatures together. We have put on lace trim and done some fabric ruffles and things like that. And so we're looking pretty close to going ahead and binding the journal, but I did want to make some ephemera for it. And so I thought we would do that, just in case there's anything we want to sew onto a page before we bind the signatures in. So, again, I don't put a ton of pockets and tuck spots and a million different things in my journals. I just don't. I like to leave a lot of room for you to customize it and make it your own. But I do think that this guy, it needs just a few things here and there. So maybe we'll do 4 or 5 pockets and tucks and just see where we go from there. So let's go ahead and move this aside. And I've been watching all different videos trying to decide what I wanted to do in here. And so, of course, I went back to Patricia Viramontes, who is amazing. And I will, of course, link her down below. She is the originator of, I think, probably every book page pocket in the world. Patricia and Crafty Irina are the queens of using book pages from forever ago. So this is the first one I want to do, and I just love it. So let me grab out, I'm using this giant nature library book that was gifted to me by sweet Carla Farrington. Thank you, Carla. I adore this book. I love the size. I love the texture of the paper. I love the images, and it's going to make an amazing journal when I'm done pulling its guts out. So thank you again for this. That was awesome. So this first piece that I want to make is a little envelope shape, and this piece flaps up, and then there's a pocket here. And I just love that. It can either get clipped onto a page, clipped at the top of a page, or it could be glued on 2 sides, and that would make the back a tuck as well. So I think I want to go ahead and make 1 or 2 of these guys, and all you need are 2 pieces of book page. So I've went ahead and tore some out of the book, and I think these are pretty. Actually, I think we'll make 2. So as long as we're making 1, we might as well make 2, right? Oh, look at the baby birds. This particular one is going to get covered, so a lot of it will be covered. So maybe I'll use these bug pages. Sorry, Rosemary, if you're watching. Yep, pages about bugs. So I'm just tearing these out. And this can be any size book page, anything you want to use. Scrapbook paper, digitals, whatever you have is great. So I'll go ahead and tear this one in half as well. And the first thing I'm going to do to make our fabulous envelope is to line this up, and I want to take off the unprinted edges. Just want to make them a little more narrow. Okay, so stacking them up. Let me get my cutter. And I'm just going to make it a little more narrow and take off some of the white part and the places where I tore it. A lot of times I like the torn look, but I think I'm going to give it a little cut here. Take that side off. We'll take a little bit off on this side. So now we've got 4 pages that are the same width. I've got quite a pile of trash going on right down there. Down there on the floor. I keep missing the trash can because I'm not used to where it is. Alright, so the first thing we want to do to make this guy is take one of the pages and just fold it in half. Is there a particular side we want? Maybe this way. I like this page. I think we're going to end up covering it, but I'm not sure. So we'll just fold it in half, use our bone folder, And then I think we'll use this one for the pocket. And what I'm going to do for the pocket is try to catch the text, because I know a lot of people aren't feeling the bugs. Okay, they're ladybugs. Everyone loves a ladybug, right? So I'm going to fold it. And this is, I'm just folding it for strength for the pocket. And it can be folded wherever you like. I want the pocket to be about that deep. So I'm going to fold it right there. No measuring, just guesstimating. Go ahead and give that a good burnish. And we can tear this one. We'll live on the edge. We'll tear this one. I won't go rogue though. We'll use the ruler. So that is going to be our little pocket at the bottom of our envelope. And it'll fold up like that. So let's go ahead and distress this one. If you wanted to sew around the pocket, this would be the time to do it, because once you glue it, you're not going to be able to sew across the top there. Actually, maybe I'll do that. I'll grab the sewing machine. Already, look at me, going off script, going all crazy. Okay. I did not eat a snack, and my stomach is growling. Hopefully you can't hear it. As soon as I'm in a quiet room, off goes the stomach. I'll make the other one, and then we'll sew them both at the same time. So that's going to get glued down like that, and then the little flapper will come down, and then it's just a matter of decorating. Could not be easier. So let's do it again. Here is our first page. And I definitely like how the leaves look. Is that what we want? Yeah, we don't mind if it's upside down. I like the sweet gum too, though. I like all of them. All right, Sycamore, final decision. So I'm just going to fold this page in half. Give it a burnish. And then this will be our pocket. And let's see where we can be without too much bugginess. Tell you what we'll do is we'll fold it in half this way. So I'm just folding it directly in half. This page doesn't have too much crazy bugginess. So I'm going to measure it. And I want the pocket to be about that long. So let's grab our pencil and mark it. And we'll tear it. Will it be straight? Wait for it. Wait for it. Will it be straight? Probably not. Spoiler alert. Wow. Here we go. Doing 2 layers at once. I'm kind of getting fancy. Okay. So maybe what we'll do, just to be on the safe side, is we'll give it a little tack down with glue. It's going to be all stitched, but just to keep it in line, we'll give it a little smush of glue on that one. And we'll give it a little smush of glue on this one. And I just did it in the middle since we're going to be sewing around the edges. That'll keep the sewing machine needle out of the glue, out of the sticky. And we'll grab our ink. I'm using Tim Holtz Vintage Photo. Although Johnny said that she is enjoying walnut stain, I think. So I might have to go and check out the walnut stain. I know I have one somewhere. Where is the big question? And I'm trying to use up, let me see if I can get in here. This is going to hit the light. Whoa. I have my bucket of just scraps of lace and fabric and stuff. And I've been trying to go through there and use up some of that. So, oh, look at that. Just a little scrap of lace. Kind of uneven, which is fine and dandy. Let's put that on there. Just a little scrap for fun. We'll decorate it more later. But as long as we're going to stitch it, we might as well stitch this little scrap on. And I like that it's shabby and just all tattered up. I'm liking it. And then we do we have something for the other pocket as well? Looking for lace. Here's one, and it's skinny. Awesome. So that'll be that pocket. And then we just have this skinny lace. I don't know why this is in my scrap pocket or drawer because it's not really a scrap. Maybe I'll put the rest of this aside and put it with the bigger pieces. It doesn't get to be a scrap yet. Not yet. I'll use my glue stick again. Oh, I think I just heard my glue stick rattle. I hope I'm not going to run out. I think this is my last big one. Oh dear, a glue stick emergency. So we'll tack there and we'll grab that with the sewing machine as well. Now I've stacked all my stuff up to my right, so let me see if I can corral the sewing machine without causing too much of a ruckus. Push everything out of the way a little bit. Okay. I did not sew this one before I glued it, so that one is not getting a stitch. So let's just grab the sewing machine. Let's stick it right here. I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but a little bit, I guess. So I've got my machine set on a zigzag, and I've just got some variegated brown yarn. Don't put yarn in your sewing machine. Thread. And I'm just gonna zip right along the top of the pocket. Do a little bit of a back stitch. So we're not only decorating it, we're tacking down the little scrap of lace that we put, and I'm loving how it looks. And that will hold it nicely in place. Another little back stitch. So there's one of our pockets, which looks great. Look, the little piece of lace is flapping around, and I just love that. And now we'll zip this one through as well and just tack down this piece that we stuck up at the top. It doesn't stand out a ton. It's white against the cream, but I like the texture, and you can definitely see it. And again, once we glue the pocket together, it's going to be kind of hard to sew across this pocket, so it's a good time to do it. Right to the end and give it a little back stitch. Oh, I just realized I put the sewing machine right in front of the microphone. I hope it's not blasting your ears out. Still trying to work out the new camera setup. We'll get there eventually. All right, so we have our two pockets for our two little flaps. And let's just see. I think I want this one there for absolutely no reason other than I do. Those threads are a little long, even for me, so I'm going to give them a trim. And then all you have to do, oh, are these threads too long too? Nope, those I like. Then all we're going to do is use our art glitter glue, which I can barely read anymore because I got black paint on it at some point. Oh, come on, art glitter glue. Why are you giving me the business? There we go. Hopefully that will do it. Nope, just doesn't want to come out. How often do you guys soak the tips of yours? I didn't have to at all to begin with, and now it seems like it gets clogged every day. And I don't know why. There we go, that helped. So we'll just make a line around those three sides. And we'll line this up at the bottom. Give it a smush. This is lifting up a little bit, but it doesn't matter because I am going to sew around all sides of it. But I'll tack it down a little bit since we're here. But I am going to sew around all four sides for fun. Certainly don't need to if you don't have a sewing machine. It's no big deal. You can just glue it. You can draw on stitches. You can hand stitch it, whatever you'd like, or not stitch it at all. So now we can, well, let's go ahead and glue this one down while we're gluing. Not very good at a production line. Okay. So we'll give it glue on three sides. Let's go ahead and put our pin back in there. Maybe I've been forgetting to cap it. Maybe that's why it's being mean. We'll put that down there. And we've got a little bit of upside down text showing. Could not care less. It's just fine. It might get covered with decoration. It might not. But I think it's no worries. And I do think what I want to do is grab my corner rounder. And And again, this is certainly not required. I just feel like doing it. And I'm going to use my corner chomper, and I'm going to use the 1/2 inch rounder side. And I'm just going to round the 2 bottom edges for absolutely no reason. Just because I don't usually do it. So we've got pretty rounded edges. Put that away. Then we can go ahead and ink this. And other than decorating, well, sewing and decorating, we have these 2 beautiful pockets ready to go, or at least one of them ready to go in our ledger journal. So there's that. Guess I don't need to do the back. It's going to get glued down. Definitely can do the inside. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. Just do the top edges as well. I do like to ink along that fold. I like how that looks. Okay. So there is envelope pocket number 1. And let's grab envelope pocket number 2. Maybe what I'll do is put all the pieces that I want to make together, and then I'll come back in a separate video to decorate them. That sounds, well, like a good idea. I'll sew them off camera so you don't have to sit there and watch. Well, and not even really watch, because I don't think you can see it very well. But I do have to ink because I will forget. We'll ink the inside. I have to say that I agree with a lot of people. I just think the inking finishes it off, and I don't always do it, but I do like how it finishes it off and kind of makes some of the details stand out a little more. I have to make a note to myself, though, to try the walnut stain. Because if my friend Johnny says it's cool, it must be cool. Alright, I remembered to put the top on my ink, yay me. So look at that, we have these 2 adorable little pockets, just ready for some decoration, and they can get something tucked in there. I'm thinking what I'd like to do probably is put some space for journaling on the front, and maybe do a little decoration, and then glue it down on 2 sides, so that there's room in here to tuck in a journaling card or a photo or whatever, and then there'll be space behind it to tuck in another photo, more journaling. Just lots of options that way. So we have those 2 guys. That was the one that I wanted to do. Another one that I watched Patricia do again today that I hadn't watched in a while was, oh, look at those bees. Where'd that go? That was cool. Okay, I can't find it now. Did you guys see that? This is the best book in the whole world. I love it. Look at those. That's crazy. I should probably show you this book in case someone wants to try to find one. It is The Giant Nature Library, Bees, Birds, Bugs, Plants, Trees, Water by Greystone. It did not have a jacket. I don't know if it had a jacket originally. The first book in here is Bees, and I don't see a copyright. Oh, 1952 by Franklin Watts Incorporated. So if you want to make a note or take a screenshot, there you go. Absolutely adore this book. And the pages are nice and matte. So the other thing that Patricia made that reminded me that I love, and I haven't done it in a while, are little page flags. And these can just be flat decoration. You know, you can just glue them up here for decoration. You can, Patricia recommended just gluing across the top so you can tuck something up underneath. And I love how they look, and they have all this room for embellishing. So let's make a couple of these as well. And each one of them will take 1 piece of paper. I'm going to look for some more boring paper. Oh, that's not very boring, and I like the root vegetables. I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. Pardon me. And as long as we're doing 1, we'll go ahead and do 2. Trying to improve my my embellishment stocking. I just don't. I usually, as I've said before, I just make enough for whatever I'm working on, because I kind of like to do it while I'm looking at my creation, whatever it might be. But I was watching Gail Agostinelli, and man, she can put out some serious ephemera. And then she kind of customizes it for each journal. So I thought, well, that seems like a very efficient way to go. So let's try it. Okay, so all we're going to do is fold the paper, each page, roughly in thirds. It doesn't have to be exact. No worries about it. If it stresses you out, measure it. That's great. I'm going to give it a little bit of glue there to hold it down. We're going to fold this one over. Did not even come close to thirds. Let me check to see if I care. Nope, I don't. And we'll go ahead and smash that one down. Let's go ahead. Think we can get any closer? Probably not, huh? So I'm not worried. So it doesn't matter. And the only reason I'm folding it instead of cutting it is to give the flags a little more stability. This paper is fairly thick, but there's no point in wasting the other pieces, and we might as well give it that extra bit of strength. So now I'm going to cut off the white parts on either end where it's not printed. And you certainly, again, don't have to do that. I just like to have text or images on my pieces in case they don't get all the way covered up when they get embellished. And then, so each one of these will make 2 flags. I like my flags to be 2 different sizes. And so instead of cutting it in half, I'm going to, yes, you guessed it, I am going to eyeball it and cut it right about there. So we have 2 different sizes. And I'll do the same over here. I also didn't want to, look, it's carrots and taters. I didn't want to cover them up or cut them off. So again, I think I'll cut right about here. And in order to get the flag to be, the points to be the same size, you can just hold them together. I think I'll grab my littler scissors, my stabby scissors. And I'm going to make a cut in roughly the middle. Again, if it stresses you out, absolutely go ahead and measure it. And then you just go from corner to the middle. My stabby scissors want to stick. So we're going to the top of that, trying desperately to go to the top of that middle slice, and then go from these corners to the top of that. I was a little bit off. It's just fine. So then when we ink it and stack them, the flags are the same on both sides. Didn't do a very good job gluing, so I'll go back in there and clean that up a little bit with some glue. And we'll do the same size here, or the same thing here. Just make a slice in the center. Go up. Oh, I got it that time. And then go from the corner to that little center slice again. And there we have 2 points of the same size. So let me grab our art glitter glue. Apparently I was a little fast and loose with the glue stick. Could have done a better job, but it's no biggie. You could also stitch around the perimeter of these if you felt so inclined. I do not believe I feel inclined, but I could change my mind. We have established that I'm quite fickle. So we'll get that one glued down. And yep, I did the same thing over here, so I'll just get a little more glue. I love the tip on the art glitter glue. And see, I'm getting it all gobbed up again. Let me get a baby wipe and clean that up before we go any further. So there are those 2 that match. Do some art glitter glue cleanup, aisle 3. Oh, I guess that's a little better. And then, yes, I did a shoddy job gluing is over here as well. It's not cool. Not cool, Brooke. Do a better job gluing than I did is my advice. As you can see, it's very easy to address, however. if you don't. And yep, number 4, also shoddy job. Not quite shoddy enough to get the glue in there easily. There we go. A little bit up there. This part's going to be on the back and glued down, so I'm not terribly concerned. Just to keep it together. All right, so we have our 2 little flags. Perfect. We'll clean that off and cap it up. All right, and then all that's left to do is to ink it. So I'm going to go ahead and ink all the edges. And these also they're just endless ways you can embellish it, and it's a great way to use up your tiny scraps. I do have a drawer unit right here to my right that has tiny fabric and lace, tiny paper, and tiny tissue paper and napkins. Just the really cool pieces that I can't bear to throw away. I try not to be ridiculous about keeping every tiny bit, because eventually there just wouldn't be room for us. There, I'm going to make that a little darker and a little more defined so that it stands out well, because what we're going to do is end up gluing it like that. And so I want this piece to be, oop, you can't see that. I want this piece to be darker and standier, outier. I love how this book, I love the colors of the book, and the text is brown, not black, so it's a little more subtle, and I love that. So this is Ephemera piece number 2 that I wanted to put in our ledger journal, and this would be the book page banners. And again, I will make sure to link Patricia Viramontes down below. I'm sure you all know her, but if you have book pages kicking around and you want to make some embellishments, yep, she's your girl. She's where to go. Okay, so love those. I'm going to go ahead and glue them. See if I can be a little more generous with the glue this time, shall I? Make sure they stick together. And I'm just offsetting the point a little bit, so hopefully you can see that. There's maybe 1/8 of an inch between the edge of the bigger flag and the center of the smaller flag. And there's absolutely no reason for that. That's where I put it. You can put it wherever you'd like. So there's number 1. And go ahead and get this guy glued. And I'm going to do about the same measurement here. Again, it can be any amount of overlap that you like, or you could just do 1. If you just wanted 1 page flag, that's fine. If you want 5, do 5. Whatever makes you happy. And I will go ahead and stick that on. So now we have 2 adorable little page banners that we can use in our ledger book. And what was, oh, we did that one already. Oh, this is something different, and I forgot to grab out what I wanted to use. These are water, what are they called? Hold on. These are Oldsmobile water outlet gaskets. They're old auto parts from the 40s and the 50s and the 30s. And these will be in our shop. They're one of the cool things that we found in Texas. They come with their original envelope. This is like a brown craft paper envelope. It's a little fragile, but with some shoring up, it would just be a fabulous pocket in a journal. And each one of the pockets has, I don't know how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 10 of these cork gaskets with a part number stamped on them. Some of them are very fragile and have broken, but you can absolutely glue them back together or just use the pieces individually for embellishments. But you know what I wanted to do was, let's see, what did I do with, my goodness. I'm still not used to where I put everything. I'm sorry, guys. I bought Tracy Fox's botanical kit, specimen kit, I think it's called. I will link that down below as well. I cut it out and I've got it all in this envelope. And it's super nifty. I was enabled by Rosemary Morris, because, you know, that's how Rosemary Morris is. I will link Rosemary too. I'm sure you guys all know Rosemary as well. She made some fabulous little items with this. But what I was thinking I wanted to do, did I cut out the specimen pictures? I thought I cut everything. Oh, maybe I didn't. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. All right, well, let's just grab a photo then. That'll work too. We'll grab a vintage photo. I love this vintage photo. Look at this. It's two ladies dressed to the nines, and there's a little boy peeking out from behind them. And I like that a lot. So let's use that. It's curled up, but by the time we're done gluing it, it will flatten right out. So let's frame. Oh, look, it's going to fit perfectly. I want to make sure that the part number's on top. So let me totally wing in this one, guys. I'm going to use my pencil and outline the outside of the gasket. See if we can get that cut right inside there so it'll tuck into the gasket and not shut. Wouldn't that be fun? Just cutting right inside that line. Talking and thinking and crafting, anything could happen here. This could go terribly wrong. Luckily, I have the biggest stack of vintage photos in the entire world. We could keep trying to do this for 2 weeks, and I wouldn't have used up all my photos. I have, I can't help it. When I see them, I have to buy them. I love them, and I like to think about what their stories are. But look at that. Almost got it in one. Scoot it over a little bit. Yep, looks like I could cut a little bit more off this side. Uh-oh. She's freestyling. Never ends well. There we go. That is perfect. Yep. All right. So I'm thinking I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. Let me get my glue book out. Fabri-Tac does not get along well with your self-healing mats, in case you didn't know. And I'm going to glue on the side that doesn't have that stamp on it because I love that stamp. Yep, getting all Fabri-Tac-y again. I'm going to be pretty generous with it because with the cork, not sure how fast it's going to sink in. Plus, the stuff has been laying around for 70 years. It is probably fairly dry and absorbent. Hoping to get it in one. Aha! Okay, it needs to scoot over a little bit, but that's okay. I've got a big old Fabri-Tac-y mess in the back, and that's okay too. Oh, and I'm way down. Sorry, guys. No, lay down. Lay down, people. Everybody settle down. Give that a press. Fabri-Tac everywhere. Good thing I used my glue book. I may have Fabri-Tac'd myself to this project, but that's okay because I love it. So, oh no, oh no. Scoot down, scoot down. There we go. There we go. That's exactly where we want it. Clean up some of this. Old cork, old photos, and Fabri-Tac. Messy business. Not for the faint of heart. So I think I want to weight this down for a little bit and let it dry before we go any further. Let me turn it over and show you. Look how cool that looks. I've got a little bit to trim right there because this piece broke off. But that's okay. We can fix that. And even if it just stays broken off, I'm fine. And we have some Fabri-Tac strings, but I can get those out. But I think what I want to do before we do anything else is go ahead and weight this down and let it dry before I mess with it. So let's see. Get something heavy. Sorry about the reach, you guys. Using my matte medium bottle. And I think I'll use my Gesso bottle on the other side. That'll give it a chance to really adhere well to the cork. All right, so we'll finish that up, but I'm thinking, I was thinking that I would use some of the botanicals. Oh, I did print them out. These are Tracy's. They're smaller than I remembered. So, yeah, that wouldn't have worked very well inside that frame anyway. So, phooey. But that's all right. We'll go a different way, and we'll use these some other time. This is the name of the kit. It's Love Junk Journals by Tracy Fox. Exhibit, Botanical Specimen Ephemera. So there you go, in case you needed this kit, which everyone does because it's fabulous. Get that out of the way. Our cork is drying. Let me put this little piece that fell off there. And I think, well, the last one I'm going to do was really, it could have gone with the fabric portion, the last video, but I didn't think about it. I pulled out some index cards because I have this gorgeous Tim Holtz fabric, and I wanted to make a fabric tuck with one of these squares. Isn't it beautiful? So each little box is like a vintage label. And I'm thinking, with the colors that we're using, what do you guys think? Maybe we'll use this red on one. Let's go ahead and cut it. And when I'm making a fabric pocket, generally I do make it on an index card just for some stability. That way it's easier to get things in and out of the pocket, and the pocket's not trying to droop or be difficult. So I wanted to tear that so we could get the beautiful fuzzy edges. So that'll be one. Because we'll make two again. We'll need to cut our index tag down, which is just fine. So that'll be one. And then, they're all so pretty. I don't want one with a real stark white background. I do know that. There's another one of the red ones, but how about, why don't we use this one, this yellow? It's really quite lemony yellow and kind of teal. Why don't we use that one? We'll give this one fuzzy edges as well. Love it. Probably that's a little fuzzier than a person needs. Sometimes in my own journals, I really leave it long and crazy, but I know it makes some people crazy. Okay. Put this stuff to the side. And I do use the blank side, so no lines show up. Oh, did you see what I did? I did a magic trick. So probably we can just cut a little bit off the side. And I want to make sure that the fabric overlaps so that the index card doesn't peek. So I'm thinking, right about here. Let's do the same for this one. Very scientific with the measuring and all. A hair, cut off a hair, cut off a smidgen. I would say this qualifies as a smidgen, a little more than a hair. And probably right about here. Okay, and then I am going to sew these, so I'll just put some art glitter glue down to hold them in place until I get over to the sewing machine again. Oh, I have two to do. Yes, I do. I'll go back and show you the pieces that we made, and then I think I'll call it a day on this one, and we'll come back and decorate them all. I'll go ahead and do the stitching, and we'll come back and decorate them and decide where in our beautiful journal we want to put a little extra pizzazz. Just give that a press. Better than an iron any day. And you can see where the index card won't show on any of the edges, just to give that pocket a little bit of stability. And maybe we'll put some lace or something. Guess it would, there we go. Don't know yet. We'll decide when we get there. And put that one down. And scoot it over. Ooh, we got close to the edge on that one, but that's okay. So then we'll have two gorgeous fabric pockets that are nice and stabilized. We have our cork piece that I don't want to move because it's drying, but that was the fun gasket that we did. Excuse me. We have our flippy, pockety, envelopey guys. We have two of those because we're feeling extremely prolific today. Then we have our cute little banners for the top of a page. And didn't we do one more? Did we only do 4? Tricky. All right, well, I guess that's all that we did. I thought we did 5, but I guess we didn't. So this is a great start for doing a little bit of extra embellishing in our ledger journal, which I will grab. Nice neutral colors, loving it. It will look beautiful in here. And we'll come back next time, as I said, and finish decorating them and decide where to put them in here. Thanks so much for spending time with me, you guys. I had a blast. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Click like, subscribe, and make sure to ring the little bell if you'd like to be informed when I come on live or when I load a video. So it's been fun playing with you. I hope you have a wonderful day and try making some paper embellishments yourself. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.